You may know the name Joseph P. Dwyer. If you don't, I'll tell you about him, a real heroic American, a heroic New Yorker. Back in the early days of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, his picture was on the cover of newspapers and all over the media. He ran into the crossfire of a firefight, scooped up an Iraqi child and brought that child to safety, risking his life. And he came home and never really recovered from the war, suffered from PTSD and other related symptoms, and lost his life 5 years after that. That picture was taken in 2008, took his own life, in fact, and a terrible, tragic story about a great New Yorker. What we did here in 2015 is we started the Joseph P. Dwyer Grant Program as part of our budget. In the last budget, it gave $3.7 million to counties and to SUNYs to provide veteran peer-to-peer counseling to avoid these unnecessary deaths from PTSD, depression, and other related maladies. However, as we stand today in the middle of February, the current budget, the governor's budget proposal, has stripped out that $3.7 million for peer-to-peer veterans counseling that means so much to our county veterans departments and most importantly to our veterans here in New York State. And what's amazing is, once again, there's $420 million for Hollywood to film movies here in New York State. That's in there, even though the governor's own budget commission 5 years ago said that it really doesn't work, it needs to be scaled back. We've already approved $27 million for illegal immigrants to go to college for free. There's talk about a minimum wage increase for inmates in our prison system, people who have gotten due process and been convicted of crimes. They're going to get a significant minimum wage increase, which is going to be paid for by you and I, the taxpayers. But somehow, in the governor's budget, there's not $3.7 million to help save the lives of those Americans who put themselves on the line and sacrifice so much. It's outrageous, and this is kind of the backstory that's going on in this building right now. When there's a legislative add-on, the Dwyer funding came from the Senate Republicans typically. They negotiated, to their credit, they negotiated it into the budget the last 4 or 5 years. And then the governor has stripped it out this year, so he's expecting it to be negotiated in again. However, Senate Republicans will not have a representative. When the 3 people go in the room, Senate Republicans will not be in that room, as in the past, because the majority now is Senate Democrats. So there's no guarantee that the Senate Democrats will make this a priority, bargain this in there. And basically what Governor Cuomo has done with this, he's made veterans' mental health a relatively small sum. We're talking about a $178 billion budget. This small sum of $3.7 million, that means so much. He's turned it into a bargaining chip. Well, this is my message for the governor. This is my message for both sides of the aisle in the Senate and the Assembly. Veterans' mental health is not a bargaining chip. It should be the #1 priority. When we're deciding what to fund, veterans' mental health should be at the very top of the list, not a bargaining chip, Governor Cuomo, and it's atrocious that he has done this. He still has a chance to make things right. His 30-day amendments are coming out. I hope to see this funding in the 30-day amendments. If it's not, we're going to keep fighting to get that funding back in there. It's literally going to save lives. It's literally going to save the lives of New Yorkers who serve this country with great sacrifice to themselves and made the wonderful way that we live possible. So let's make this right. Governor Cuomo, all of my colleagues in the legislature, we have a chance to make this right. Let's do it right now.